Going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files. Do you hear my producer Chrissy breathing? Chrissy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm in New York.
That's so great. I'm actually jealous. I miss New York. I mean, I don't know if New York's anyways.
It's
I miss
a weird
time.
time. I know you miss New York. It's a weird time. As somebody who loves New York, it's a really weird time to be here. It's empty. So it's weird. Times Square is empty. It's weird.
If you guys want to support Chrissy, make sure to watch New Year's Rocking Eve. Was it Wednesday night?
Thursday night
on ABC. Chrissy is producing New Year's Rocking Eve.
Yes.
Well, we have a great episode for you. Ask Nick. Feel like I did a solid job.
Solid. You did a really good job on this one.
Did an okay job. Our boy, your boy, America's sweetheart, Brendan.
You said it right.
Joins us tomorrow. A special guest. You may be able to guess who the special guest pops in quickly to say hi to Brendan. There is no episode this Wednesday. We wanted to just get these episodes in for you to enjoy this week and the last week of the year, so that you could be with your friends or family or whatever. If you are dying for some more Viall Files content, I am sure there's an episode out there that you haven't listened to. Go ahead, take a listen. I just want to thank you guys as always. Thanks for listening this year. It's been a fun year. It's been fun recording these episodes. It's so nice to get comments and feedbacks of the things you enjoy about the show, and for all those people who shared our podcast on their social. Can't thank you enough for all the reviews of 5 stars. I can't thank you enough, and just generally listening. You're 1-star people. You can go suck a dick. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Who you are.
And now we know who you are because you put your name on it.
I don't know. If you're still listening and you gave us a 1 star, I'm torn. I'm torn. Other than that, I hope you have a really wonderful end of the year. You're going to want to check out the Brendan episode. It's a lot of fun. I know he's done some other interviews out there. I'm confident that no one dove into turtlenecks like I did with Brendan, as well as we get an update from Brendan. Despite, fast forward a year, if Tasha and Brendan find themselves to be single, would Brendan want to go on a date? His answer might surprise you. Next week, Ask Nick. A lot of you have asked for updates about some of our callers, and we decided to do an update episode. So if you have been looking forward to getting some updates on some of your callers from the Ask Nicks, we did an update episode. Not sure if we'll keep doing these. Let us know if you guys enjoyed hearing the updates from our callers. It was a lot of fun and rewarding to find out I didn't ruin anyone's life. That was nice. And there's been some pretty positive changes. So it turns out
you're not so bad at this. Does that keep you up at night wondering if you ruined someone's life?
I don't really care.
I can take it or leave it. It's fine.
No, I'm kidding. Listen, I feel good about the advice. Sometimes I don't know if they're going to take the advice. I'm pretty confident my advice isn't going to ruin anyone. But it was nice to hear that I bat 1,000.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But make sure to check that out next Monday, and let us know what you guys think about it. We're not going to do it all the time, but if you enjoyed these catch-ups in its own individual episode, let us know. Maybe we'll do an update with just emails. Let us know what you think. And other than that, I guess we should just get to our callers, shall we?
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Good. My name is Chelsea and I'm 28.
Hi, Chelsea, 28. How can I help?
I don't know how to really kick this off,
I think you should just tell us what your question is, and if there's a story to offer context, I would start.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been friends with this guy for I want to say probably 22 years.
You've
and
been friends with this guy for 22 years. Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
28.
Okay.
Yeah. So I met him during Pop Warner football. He was playing football and I was cheerleading. And then after that, we went into elementary school and high school, and the rest is history. We became best friends. So we've always been like attracted to each other, I think, or I would say that we have been. And we,
lots to unpack in that sentence, Chelsea.
You've
always been attracted to each other, I think.
I didn't want it.
But I'm pretty sure.
That assumption. Well,
then there you go. You should say that I wonder if we've been attracted to each other the whole time, but quite frankly, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Well, that's what I mean. Yes. So,
right.
Then, as of like the last year, we went to our other best friend's wedding. We were both in the wedding. Okay. And I don't know if that kind of set off some sort of like spark or like familiarity. I'm not really sure.
Well, let's start with, what does this do for you? Let's talk about from your perspective. You've been attracted to him your whole life. You went to a wedding and you feel like it sparked off some things for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, like, that's good to get your point of view right now, because you're talking about, you're speaking for the group, and that's why you're calling, because you really don't know what the group thinks. But what we do know is how you think and feel, and we need to start being honest about that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
All right, cool. So you went to a wedding for someone you've been friends with your whole life, someone that you've kind of always been attracted to, and for whatever reason haven't done anything about it. And then you went to a wedding and had some drinks, and then everyone was talking about love and marriage and the one, and that just kind of reaffirmed probably something you felt your whole life, that you and he did some things that weren't totally clear, but you thought that you could interpret as possibly reciprocating the same feelings as you have.
Yes, because he actually said to one of the other bridesmaids that I was in the wedding with, he said to her, like, as we were all like, drinking, sitting, whatever. And he turned to her and was like, how is Chelsea still single? Like, she's beautiful. She's like a diamond in the rough. I don't know how anyone hasn't scooped her up yet. And so then my friend told me that the next day, and I was like, yo, what? I was like, that's how he's feeling? So I think that
Wait. What? Okay, well, yeah, my mom feels the same way about me, and she doesn't want to date me.
Well, don't say that. That's not.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's
so, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that got me thinking, you know what, maybe I could see this being as something else. So that night, obviously, drinking and everything at our friend's wedding, we did make out. And then that was kind of the end of that. Right. But then since then, we've been talking like a lot more than we normally would have. But there has been a lot of sexting.
Okay, so just to recap. So he admitted something relatively benign, that he just thinks you're a great catch, like my mom would at a wedding. But you also made out at a wedding, which is not something that isn't benign. Haven't done that with mom.
With your mom.
Yeah, that's what
it's getting weird.
I was like, wait a second.
So did you guys acknowledge the make out? What was it like to make out? Like, were you like, oh my, did it feel like a moment? Did it feel like, for you at least, that something was that the first time you guys have made out, or have you guys hooked up in the past before?
We've only made out, and I think the last time before that was we were seniors in high school. Like, so it'd been a long time.
Okay, so it's been 10 years since you've made out, which doesn't count.
No, okay, yeah.
It's like a new chapter in your life. But you made out again. And what was that make out like? Was it like, weird or awesome, or I've been waiting for that? Well, how did you feel?
It felt just really natural and just very comfortable.
Did he say anything? Did he acknowledge anything?
Yeah, but I mean, one of us got up or something, and we were just so drunk that we went to bed. And then
together
he kept
or alone?
Calling alone.
Okay.
But then, because I went upstairs and just went to sleep, and he kept calling me, like trying to find me, because we were in like this mansion of a house for the wedding party.
Okay.
And
so then nothing
we
happened.
talked about it. Nothing happened.
And then what happened? That's fine.
All
right. So then you wake up, you're sober, but you're not so drunk that you didn't remember any of this. And did you guys talk about it? Like what did?
We haven't talked about it in person.
Did you? No. What about over text?
We have talked about it over text.
What did you guys say?
And it's just pretty much a mutual, like, I loved it kind of thing.
You sent some texts. I'm looking at them right now. Are you in blue?
I'm blue.
You are blue. So you wrote a developing story. Semicolon. I have a crush on you as of recently. No, that part's not true. I've sort of been in love with you my whole life. And I have been thinking about it. I would feel disingenuous. Oh, he hearted this comment, by the way. Okay.
I know.
That's nice. Could have been a better response, but it's better than a thumbs up. Well, I would feel disingenuous, you write, not saying anything. If this is one-sided, that is okay. No hard feelings as long as we are still friends, honey. Also not true. He, in a very playful way, sends you a Chris Farley emoji. Well, hello then. Of like the Chris Farley checking you out. I assume he's like acknowledging your honesty. Well, this information is quite fascinating, like an 1800s Mozart piece. What the fuck? Fascinating? Okay.
I know.
Could just be his way. I mean, to be honest, well, that's not great. I haven't read this, by the way. I'm reading this for the first time aloud.
You haven't read? Oh, this is like a live reading.
This is a live reading. To be honest, he writes. Okay. You've been my bestie. Without testes since 10 a.m.
I don't mean to laugh this whole time.
Is he 4? Have you ever heard this aloud?
That's
What's NAM? What's NAM?
You know what? I have since Nam.
I can't.
So I love you more than a fat kid loves cake.
Reading this text message like to myself, I was like, I don't like how you're trying to make
my
this so
support
funny.
for you is endless. There's just such a butt coming. Oh, actually, I see it there with 4 T's. And so our blood rushes you to give you my male part. Wait, my support for you is endless, and so are the blood rushes you give me to my male part, his dick. He writes, but, and then he follows that with a but with 4 T's. At the moment, I'd be doing us a disservice to you saying I feel exactly like you are. It doesn't even make sense. So that's just a long-winded way of saying I don't feel the same way.
I know.
What a dick. I don't know how to say it. You just did in a good way because you failed because you make me hard.
I needed you to read this. I
don't know how to say it in a good way because no matter what way I say it, it's going to sound negative or stupid. In a reality, the stupid was me. In a reality, it's not even close to being a negative. Well, no, you're right. He's right. Him not liking you is not a negative. It might feel it.
Right.
I mean, could I? Yes, he writes. What a fucking dick. Just stop there. But it's like a 20-plus year friendship where we've been besties, so that's just been a natural mindset when we interact. And if that is even remotely makes sense. Not really, Colin.
Well, can we get back to besties with testes?
I know. And it kept being repeated. And I was like, dog, I don't want.
Okay, stop calling him dog. You guys, where are you guys fucking from? Why do you guys talk this way? What do you want? What do you want?
We're from what do I want?
Yeah, what do you want?
I wanted to see potential in it, but I just don't. I think the thing that kind of caught me off guard was the could I? Yes, because it's like, why would you say that?
That's all nonsense. He just doesn't know what to say, and he doesn't want to make you feel bad. So he's trying to balance out how to compliment you enough, all while just telling you he doesn't feel the same way. He doesn't feel the same way.
Okay. Yeah.
Could he? I don't know.
Okay.
But the question is, what do you want? And this whole like scenario of like, well, he's been in my life for so long, and I just don't think I can sacrifice the friendship.
I know.
Like, are you just bored? Is he just there? If you don't end up with him and you meet someone new, and you're being totally honest with yourself and your future lover that you've never met with, and let's say we start dating, and you meet someone who, loves a good honesty and can kind of read into things like I can. And he's just like, hey, listen, babe, no problem. You like this guy. It didn't work out. He's not your friend. You've always had a crush on him. Like, that's fine. But like, I'm a little uncomfortable with how honest with yourself you are about this situation. Nothing bothers someone more than dating someone who's just lying to themselves. Like, listen, I had a crush on this guy my whole life. It didn't happen. Like, I've accepted it. I've moved on. Oh, great. That sounds like someone who's processed their emotions over the years, and now because they've been honest with themselves, they can evaluate it. If you start dating a new guy and you're still like, well, I don't know, I mean, like, I don't really love him, but like, then it just becomes frustrating for this new guy. Do you really think you could be best friends with this guy if you find someone else? And now you should assume you're going to find someone someday.
Right. I think I could, yes, because for a majority of our friendship, which pretty much, let's say.
How many boyfriends have you had?
Serious boyfriends?
Yeah.
3.
And while you were dating these serious boyfriends, how integral was Colin in your life? While those relationships were going, or did it go on a back burner? And does it always like steam up when you have free time or when he has free time?
I feel like he definitely gets jealous if I have somebody else in my life, but I also feel as though I kind of get the same kind of jealousy when he has someone else.
Oh, no, it's a two-way street. It's not just him. But what I'm saying is you guys aren't just friends. This is not a just friends situation.
Yeah.
It's some sort of like in-between situation. What you have is gotten used to whatever this is, right? Which is some romantic chemistry, some physical chemistry, some sort of enablement, and there for each other in a time of need or boredom or in between finding people. But what at least his point of view is, what he doesn't, he thinks he can do better than you romantically. Right? That's what his ego thinks, right? And you have accepted a friendship because he is not willing to give you more. That's not a friendship, right? You've always wanted more from this friendship your whole life. And you've just taken what he's been willing to give. There is so much in our world today we can't control. Sometimes we feel helpless with the things that we can't control. So it's so important, and even more important than usual, to focus on what you can control. And you can control how comfortable your mattress is, people. Helix Sleep has the most comfortable mattresses you can find at the most reasonable prices. I lay my body on a Helix mattress.
On a midnight Helix mattress.
8 hours a night. 8, 7.5, sometimes 6. But
you sleep 8 hours a night?
Well, lately I've been going to bed at like 9. It's like, you know what? I got nothing to do. Fuck it. I'm going to bed. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't hurt that it's on a Helix mattress. They have mattresses for all kinds of people, whether you're a side sleeper like myself, or you sleep on your stomach or back. It doesn't matter. Helix has the mattress for you. You don't need to take my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress of 2019 and 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. I took a quiz and was matched up with the midnight mattress because I wanted something that felt medium. I'm a medium sleeper, and I sleep on my side.
Medium side sleeper.
It was a super easy quiz to take, and I'll tell you what, if I share it with anyone, they also compliment me on the bed.
Oh, if you share your bed with anyone, they compliment you on your mattress. Yeah. I love it.
They're like, you were fine, but your mattress is great.
Yeah, you were okay, but the mattress was worth me coming over.
Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders for our listeners at helixsleep.com/VIALL. That is helixsleep.com/VIALL for up to $200 off. Well, I'm not 18 anymore. We can agree on that, because when I was 18, I didn't give a fuck what I ate. But you know what? I have to give a fuck now. And I'm finding Noom to be that helpful bit of information that I need, because it's not just what you eat, it's how much you eat, it's when you eat it, it's what you eat it with. So much about our diet has to do with all different types of scenarios, and information is key. And you don't have to accomplish all your fitness and wellness goals all in one day. No. Small steps make big progress, or shavings make a pile. Doesn't matter if you want to lose weight, gain weight, maintain your weight, or just maybe feel better, have a little bit more energy. Your diet plays a big role in all of that. And Noom, with their easy-to-use app, is making it so easy to get great information based in psychology. Noom teaches you why you make the choices you do and gives you the tools to replace your habits with healthier ones. Noom's cognitive behavioral approach means you're not just able to lose weight or whatever your goals are, you're building the habits you need to maintain those goals. Noom is forgiving because you're human. That's right. It's not about like going off track. It's just about maintaining good practices and great habits. There is a science to getting healthier. It's called Noom. Sign up today for your trial at noom.com. That's Noom, noom.com/VIALL. Learn how to eat healthy again with Noom. Sign up for our free trial today at noom.com/VIALL. Ready to learn how to live healthier? Well, then sign up for Noom today at noom.com/VIALL. I think you need to just risk the friendship, as they say. Give up on the friendship. Say goodbye to the friendship. Who knows what could happen in the future? Maybe it will rekindle someday. I don't know. But go for what you really want. And what you really want is something with him. You were never going to get the answer you wanted with that text.
Yeah.
Right? Because he doesn't have to choose. You'll be there for him.
Yeah.
He thinks that if he compliments you enough, like, oh, you make my dick hard. But, thanks.
Yeah, right.
But,
I know.
He thinks that it's going to make you feel good enough that you'll stick around and be like, okay, cool, Colin. Like, oh, you're right. Like, we'll just be friends. Sorry. Like,
right. Oh, I think I was also kind of pushing it because I was like, okay, I'm not going to be so scared to say this to him because he lives in a different state than I do. So I was like, okay, well, God
whatever
forbid
the reason.
Right. So God forbid, I was like, if he felt the same way, then maybe like I don't think he's staying in New Hampshire forever. You know what I mean? And like, I don't plan on going back there.
You can't sit there and try to figure this all out, right? This is 20 some years of a friendship. Here's my, I don't know if you're going to take it, but if you want something special.
No, I'm asking for
I think you should go for it. I think you should go for it. And go for it says, you've already put it out there.
Yeah.
You could respond. Have you replied to this? Like, what did you say back?
I said that I've just thought about it from every angle and that I would understand where he was coming from no matter what he really had to say about it. But then the other day, we kind of hadn't talked for a few days just because I was like, I'm just going to let that simmer for a little bit because I don't really know what he's thinking. And I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse here and like keep talking about it. So the other day I texted him and I said, I literally said, hey, not to beat a dead horse. I just want to make sure that we're cool and that like you handled the thing that I said the other day. Like,
I mean, here's what
positively.
I don't think you should give him any pats on the back. Here's what I think you should do. You just be honest and correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm just I think you should say, hey, I've thought about what I've said and what you said, and there are no hard feelings, but I need to be honest with myself. And the honest truth is, like, I love you. I want to be with you. I'm in love with you. If I could choose anyone in this world, I'd want to choose it with you. I know we have a messy past, but you are the best part of my life, and I want to take the risk, and it's worth it to me to risk the friendship to see if we have a chance. And I'm willing to make that relationship with you a priority. And if you don't feel the same way, that is okay. I will understand, but I don't want I need to move on because I do love you and I need to I want to find love, and you are stopping me from finding love because I love you, and that's okay. And you need to be willing to give up on the friendship and say goodbye to the friendship and not have them always be there for you and find a new person to talk to when you're bored or sad or in between boyfriends, and let it go. And then you have to see, and it's going to take some time. And what he's going to do at first is not give you the answer that you want. He's going to be like, oh, weird. Well, thanks for being honest. And I don't know if I feel the same way, and I'm sorry, and I can't do that. and see if in 6 months or 12 months he comes around when you disappear out of his life. And that's going to take some real discipline. You have to actually let him go. Like, hey, do you watch Schitt's Creek, you know?
Of course I watch Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, like, so like you're Ted, you know?
She's Ted.
Don't call me. I don't want to be Ted.
You're Ted.
Ted's hot.
Ted's fine. Ted, you know, he got the girl, but what did Ted do? He let her go. He met someone else. He said goodbye. He accepted the reality, even though he never really wanted it. He stopped pretending. He stopped hiring her as an assistant and finding different ways to keep her close without having her. You know, we all do that, right? So you know, you're Ted. You're Ted in all forms. If it like, you know, now it's just like, it's cool. I'll just have you be my assistant. I'm totally cool with it. I'm totally mature enough for that. No, you're not. You're just lying to yourself.
I never thought of it that way.
So you're Ted, right? And now you need to fire him as a friend, and you need to be honest, and you need to find someone else, and see if she comes around. See if Alexis comes around.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. God, I feel like you're always
That is your new best analogy ever.
Like
that was
and now I'm gonna constantly think about it because Schitt's Creek is my favorite show. So this is gonna be. Oh, I never thought.
So
of it that
you
way.
you need to say goodbye. You know, and again, this is going to take some time, and you don't sit around and wait for 6 months for Alexis to come around. You need to actively move on and give her a chance and find something, because you know this is going to go the best. Your best case is a Schitt's Creek situation, but what did Ted have to do? He had to lose her. He had to find someone else. He had to say goodbye.
You have to find the cheese lady. You have to find your own cheese lady.
Cheese lady.
You know. And you have to give the cheese lady a real shot, because you will never really know until.
Absolutely.
And your Alexis has to really realize and really has to really be afraid of losing you. He has to come around and think, oh my God, I do love.
You're making my heart like come out of my mouth.
So that's what you need to do. That's what's going on here, and there's really no other scenario.
I appreciate you shooting to me straight. I think that's what I needed to hear. So thank you.
And you know what? If it doesn't work out the way it did for Ted and Alexis, you'll be fine. But what you will be is free of this, what you call a friendship. That all it is, it's something that's held you back. It could be the reason why you haven't found someone else, because if it's not the Ted and Alexis situation, then you've been overqualified and over-validating this friendship.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. Over-validating. Yeah, right. And I have a problem making boundaries a lot of the time too. And I'm working on it. I talked to my therapist about it. I'm working on it. But I feel like those kind of hold hands in a way. So no, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you need to do.
No, thank you for being honest. I appreciate it.
Stop being, stop. You're not friends. Stop. Like, when you watch Schitt's Creek and Ted hired Alexis as an assistant, as a viewer, you're like, Ted, what are you doing?
Right.
God, torture. What torture, Ted? Why are you torturing yourself?
No,
that's what you do when you like hang out as friends with Colin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ted would have said besties with testes.
Oh my God, he totally
No,
would have.
Alexis would have. Alexis would have said something. That's Alexis being awkward. This text is Alexis being awkward. And it's just like, what the fuck are you saying? I don't, So the roles are reversed.
Thank you guys.
God, Schitt's Creek for days.
This will now be in my brain forever. Thank you.
So.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Well, best of luck.
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
How's it going?
It's going well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's your name?
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Awesome. How can I help?
So, my boyfriend and I we've been dating for 2 years. We're not engaged, but we talk about it often.
Great.
So out of the blue, the other day, I told him if he wants to make out with someone in public at his bachelor party, whenever that happens, I think he should. And I think that would be really fun for him.
Wait. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm following here. You're not engaged, but you threw out a hypothetical?
Yes.
Okay.
But we talk about it all the time. It's very much on our radar. We're just not going to get engaged during a pandemic because I want to be able to like
for
hug my
some
grandma.
reason you said, hey, you know what? If we get engaged and you have a bachelorette party and you want to make out with someone,
well, I brought it up because I want to be able to make out with a stranger at my bachelorette.
Oh, so that was your motivation.
Yeah.
So that the thought of him making out with another girl.
I mean, I don't care if he does. No.
You don't get turned on by it. Does it make you mad and jealous?
No.
You just don't care.
It's not emotional. If he was texting someone or going on dates with someone, that would bother me. But if he wants to have a random
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Oh yeah. No,
but your motivation is because you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. And
why?
But
it's only fair if I want to.
Hey, listen. I recognize that. Why do you want to?
Because I want like one last hurrah. I want one night, my bachelorette party, where I can like go out and I can do whatever I want and not know what's gonna happen and feel free for one night. Do
you not feel free in your relationship?
This is my first boyfriend at 28 because I've never allowed that title ever on anyone I've dated because I'm a commitment phobe. I love him. I'm so happy with him. Wouldn't want to be with anyone else. But I would like one last night of feeling single.
Okay. And he responded with?
He was like, are you telling me this because you want to make out with someone at your bachelorette party? Because the answer is no. And I don't want to make out with anyone at my bachelor party.
And you said?
Why not?
But you admitted that was your motivation.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he got mad or
he just got really, I think it hurt his feelings.
Sure.
I think, but we see it very differently. Like to him, he sees maybe me wanting to, or me being okay with him doing it as like maybe me like loving him a little less, which just isn't the case. And
how old is he?
28.
Okay. Yeah.
He's been cheated on. So I'm sure that plays into it. Sure. But like for it to be cheating, in my opinion, there needs to be some level of deception. I would never cheat on him. And if he doesn't want me to do this, I won't do it. But I want to be allowed to.
Yeah. So what's your question?
The question is, well, I would like to know if this was proposed to you by your imaginary fiance, what would your opinion on it be? And then also,
well, my opinion is complete. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a personal preference. So like, because
I know, but I'm curious.
Well, I'm older than your boyfriend. I've lived more life than your boyfriend. I've experienced more things. My answer at 28 would be very different than my answer now.
Okay, fair.
I guess to answer your question, I appreciate your mindset and I can get on board with it. And I see love differently now than I did when I was 28. And I value love differently now than I was 28. And I personally would be attracted and turned on by your honesty. That's me. And that takes a level of, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, a level of maturity that I just didn't have back then. And a lot of that comes from like life experiences. Your boyfriend may never get it. He may never need that. Maybe there's something fucked up with me and you that we like require this type of like weird honesty. I don't know. But I also value honesty, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I recognize, I don't think love has to do with not being attracted to anyone else, right?
I agree. Exactly.
And I recognize that we are humans and animalistic to a certain extent, right? We're also like cerebral beings. And so, yes, I'm an analytical person who thinks about all these things in life and I can go down that path. And so if I believed, say like we were dating and I believed you and your motivation, yeah, I would be totally cool with it. So but that does not mean you'd be like, oh, well, I just talked to this guy on this podcast and you should. Like, he has every right not to be cool with it.
Of course he does. My other question is, do you think it's worth bringing up again when this becomes like a reality and not a hypothetical?
That's for you to decide whenever this is. I do think you guys should just stop talking about being engaged so much until you're engaged.
Yeah, it's fun to talk
I'm on
about.
this big kick lately of people of like, stop fucking pretending that you're in a situation that you're not. Like, you're not engaged and that's okay. And quite frankly, there is a freedom there and a fun. Enjoy the moment, right? Enjoy the present. Enjoy not being engaged, right? And then enjoy being engaged when you are engaged, but you're not, right? So like, just enjoy where you're at.
100%.
To answer your question, like,
we're not as it's because of the pandemic. So it's not like we're not there yet, if that makes sense.
Well, why can't you get engaged during a pandemic?
Because I want to like be able to hug my grandma when I get engaged. I want to we're not in a huge rush. So I want to be able to have an engagement party and like be with my family. And I don't see
I find that to be kind of interesting and ironic. I know completely two different things, but like I'm not discounting wanting to hug your grandma, but you can hug your grandma whenever, right? You've had it in your mind your whole life that when you get engaged as, maybe as a young woman, you're like, the first thing I want to do is hug my mom and my grandparents, right? So you planted that seed in your mind and now you want to fulfill that dream. And somewhere along the lines, your boyfriend decided, I want to be with someone who doesn't want to fuck other dudes or make out with them. And I'm only going to be enough for them, even whether that's reality or not. You get what I'm saying? You see that logic? I mean, it's very two different things, but this is all based on the idea of something and what you've told yourself. So, it's good that you want to hug your grandma, but if you guys are ready to get engaged,
I just think that, we're 28. There's not like a huge rush.
I also agree with that.
A pandemic, but
so what I'm saying is,
so we'll wait a little bit.
Regardless of the fact that there is a pandemic and that's why you're not getting engaged, you're still not engaged. So stop acting like you're engaged.
Okay.
Right? You're not.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're not.
And things can change, right? And you can learn.
True.
So you never know. Should you table it and bring it up again? I don't know. This is who you are, and that might not change. And while it might not be about just making out with someone, maybe is it just about having one night?
I just want one more night of feeling like single, because when we decided to start dating, it didn't happen quickly. We were dating for a long time before we officially started dating, but it kind of just happened, and I wasn't prepared for it. I'm happy, but I never got one last night because I didn't know the next day he was going to be my boyfriend. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but no one does. That's not how. Yeah, I mean,
I know that's not how it works. This is my first. There's a reason that I've always shied away from this, and so now I'm not, and I'm happy. But I just want one more, and I like the attention. I just want one more night of whatever I want.
maybe you should be engaged with someone who's a little bit more open-minded. I don't know. Maybe your boyfriend will get there. All the reasons why I'm saying, focus on what you have. Stop planning for the future. Enjoy the moment. Stop saying something that's going to be for sure when you don't know for sure, because you're not engaged. And you clear that you're passionate about this, and that's fine. And I think what I think is you should explore this frame of mind that you have with yourself, and then with someone that you ultimately say you should be able to have any type of conversation because he's your best friend. You can talk about anything, even the hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think you should explore it. I don't think your whole focus should be about getting your rocks off whenever it is you have your bachelorette party. He's gonna be like, why are you so obsessed with this? But if it's the idea of, I think there's something inside you that I want to feel. I think here's what I think. Whoever you get engaged to, whether it's this guy or not, should be able to hear the honest truth. And the honest truth is you want one last night of feeling free.
Exactly.
And I think he should be able to hear that from your voice and be able to process it. And even if he gets frustrated and mad and insecure about it, you guys should be able to talk about that in a productive way so you can understand each other's needs. And maybe you can meet those needs in other ways. Or maybe he just has to let you make out with a dude. Or maybe you have to break up and find someone else who would be. I don't know. But I do think you should be able to have that conversation with someone you plan on getting engaged to.
For sure. And I feel like I can. It's just hard for him to understand that it's so much less about me needing to make out with someone, because he kept being like, why do you need to make out with someone so badly? And it's really not about that. It's
ask
about
him a question.
Ask
him a question. Say, listen, I have the utmost confidence that you love me. I have the utmost confidence that you're attracted to me. Whatever. Do you find other women attractive? If he's honest, he's going to say yes, right? Do you ever fantasize? Sometimes you have to lead people down a path. Get him. This is a bit manipulative and Machiavellian, but I'm saying.
I'm a little manipulative. It's fine.
So you just lead him down a path of questions he has if he's honest, he has to answer yes to. Has he fantasized about other women while in a relationship with you? Of course he has. It doesn't matter to what degree. I don't know. Does he watch porn and masturbate when you're not there? Probably. Right? Why does he do that? Does he only look at pictures of you naked when you're masturbating? Probably not. Right? So get him to, why is that? You know?
Yeah.
And then you say, well, that's ultimately like, you know, I love you. You're the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. But there's a level of freedom and excitement. And I love the idea that there are objects to me and I want to come home to you, but I want that freedom. I mean, you could try that way.
I like that approach. Thank you.
You know, so yeah, you just have to be able to have conversations with him. And if you're trying to get him to understand your point of view, you do that by asking him questions that he would answer yes to, that he has to answer yes to if he's being honest with himself. That would be similar to the type of feelings that you're feeling.
I'm going to do that when we're actually engaged.
Do it now.
You think, okay, well then
this is a conversation about a relationship. It's like, you know, this is not you should definitely do it now before you engage, because you never know how that conversation is going to go.
Yeah. No, that's true.
You might find out something. Like, it's very easy to think about relationships and dating and engagements, is that the real hard shit sometimes doesn't come up until we're forced to face it, right? And sometimes we face these after we're married or we have kids or financial problems. You have an opportunity to have a conversation now and that's untraditional, that might stir up some things, that might shed some light on some fundamental differences you guys have, what it means to love and express love and be seen and heard, that might either bring you closer together or bring you further apart. And it's great to know that now rather than when you're engaged or married. And so many of us avoid those conversations because it's like, well, I'll just wait and do it now. See what happens.
Thank you. That is great advice. I like this approach. All
right. Well, best of luck. Let me know if you are able to be set forth into the world.
Send a follow-up email.
Hey, I just had my bachelorette party. I totally had a hot night of passion. We'll want that follow-up.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it. It might be a while, but I'll let you know.
But yeah, don't be afraid to have those tough conversations.
I won't.
All right.
Thank you, Nick.
All right. Best of luck. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So my name's Ashley. I'm 21, and I have a lot of background story to share for you.
Great.
So basically I've been in an entanglement or situationship, whatever you like to call it, for 2 years now. I met this guy in March 2019. We hit it off. Everything was great. He was super respectful, a gentleman.
How old is he?
It all. He was at the time. Okay, wait. Now he's 24. So basically, 2 months later, he found out that he was getting loaned to the US to play soccer there. And I'm from Canada. So this meant he had to pack all his things and leave within 2 days to move to the US for 8 months. And so, I was upset, but honestly, I was still not that attached to him. But then over the next 8 months, I grew attached to him, mostly because he would message me literally every day. And I remember thinking, like, why is he doing this? But nonetheless, like, he was always respectful. He never played stupid mind games. Like, he would always reply and be excited to talk. And then he did return to Canada 8 months later. He was only here for 5 days and something was off. And so since we weren't official, I didn't want to like overstep, and I didn't want to be annoying. I wanted to give him his space.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In these 8 months that he was gone and you guys were talking on somewhat of a regular basis, and you said you weren't official, were you dating?
Yeah.
Were you actively going on any dates with anyone else?
Like, yes, but yes.
Great. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So basically, so he was here, the vibes were weird, and looking back, like, we spoke and he told me that he was hoping I would take initiative and I was hoping the same. So there was like some type of miscommunication, and I don't know if it was related to the fact that like we haven't seen each other for 8 months and there was like so much pressure on those 5 days, and it just created some weird vibes. But the problem was that on his last day in my city, he didn't actually tell me he was leaving. And so like, it's true that he didn't know he would be leaving that day. And he only found out a few hours prior to his flight. But imagine how I felt to wake up finding out he's halfway across the world in his home country. And so although I'm not like confrontational, I expressed my upset that he didn't even say goodbye. And so I was thinking, like, if he discovered he didn't actually like me over these past 5 days, this would be his chance to tell me, either verbally or by ignoring me, that he's over it, because he wouldn't have to see me again. So like, I remember
when you say home country, like, where is he from?
Europe.
What country?
Spain. Yeah.
Ooh, exotic.
I know.
All right. Okay, go ahead. What else? Keep going.
So yeah, basically I asked him, like, I was like, okay, I need to grow some balls and ask him what he wants, and I did. And then to my surprise, he wasn't scared of my message. He didn't ignore it or take long to answer, but immediately he told me, like, he apologized and expressed like how he was stressed, had a lot on his mind, and like wants to keep in contact because of how much he likes me. And so over the next month or two, like, our connection was still strong. We would FaceTime and message, and he did find out that he wasn't going to be coming back to my city. So that was depressing, but nonetheless, we still kept in contact. And then Corona happened, there was like lockdown. And then I'd say 2 months ago, I discovered he has some type of a girl, and like, it makes sense because things have been off, like we haven't been talking as much. And I found this girl, yeah, I felt awful. And like, other than the fact that she's my literal twin, like physically looks just like me, that hurt, but like, whatever, it is what it is. I also noticed like red flags. So like, he still tried keeping in super great contact with me, and he obviously didn't know I was aware of her. And so specifically, he would majorly like flirt with me, and that showed me he was trying to balance the two of us at once, and that like he could have been doing it all along. And I just don't understand, like, how does somebody talk to, I don't know, multiple girls for months on end, and like, is this just a master player disguised as like a really good guy, and like, is he not who I thought he was all along? Like, that's just my beginning question.
That's the beginning question.
Yeah.
Is there a follow-up question?
Like, yeah, so here I just want to like ask you, like, what do you think he got out of talking to me? Like, obviously we couldn't be together like physically, so I don't understand why he felt the need to like hold on to me. And like, in my opinion, he could have filled the void for like a conversation with literally anyone else. So like, I don't know if I'll ever understand. And as a guy, like, what do you think that was?
I mean, you served some sort of role for him, right? I mean, it's hard to find connections in general, right? It's
right.
And he clearly found someone in you that was understanding and nice, and he obviously liked you and was probably attracted to you, and you seem to be willing to have these somewhat regular FaceTimes, text message conversations. Yeah. My guess is, from time to time he would, talk, if he was moving to a new city, right? Here's this person who's from Europe and from Spain, doesn't have a lot of familiarity, right. Doesn't have a lot of friends. Even if he makes friends in these new cities, like, we all seek some sort of comfort and regularity and things that we can rely on. And you probably became that person. Listen,
okay, that's
my guess is he's in a very selfish state of his life right now. And he lacks the character or the maturity to not recognize that to the point where he's not willing to lead you on and have you be at the position you are right now, right? We can all be selfish, right?
Yeah.
We can all do selfish things. Sometimes it's good, this.
Right.
Where he missed, it's not that it's fine for him to be selfish right now. Here's this young 2-year-old at the time, 24-year-old now. He's traveling the world playing pro soccer, semi-pro, whatever it is, right? And that's definitely the time to be selfish, right?
Right.
And what he shouldn't do is try to have his cake and eat it too. He shouldn't. Right. He should be upfront with you at a time when you even give him an opportunity. I'm guessing it's probably like he never said, "Hey, listen, I really like you. You've been there for me, but it's with me living where I live, or it's just I like you. I think a friendship is as much as I can offer you at the time."
Right.
Did he ever say anything like that?
No, it was always more like, you're the only person I would like to date, and like it was.
But he doesn't want to date now, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's easy to.
So let me ask you this: like when he told you he doesn't want to date, even though you would be the only person he wants to date, do you want a boyfriend right now?
I think yes. Like for example, like just like being like, I haven't had a boyfriend for so long. I'm ready to like change something up in my life and give. Well, I mean,
you've invested all of your energy and time on this one person. Listen, this could be it feels disheartening when we feel misled or used, right? You probably feel very used right now.
In a way, but I also want to say like I don't have regrets, because like I feel like he saw such a good side of me, and part of me is like, if that wasn't good enough, then like I don't know what is. I kind of reached like a tipping point.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's not about you being good enough, right?
Yeah.
And it's really like this. You mentioned this other girl who looks just like you, and that hurt because then your ego is like, well, she looks like me, right? Yeah. So he met that need with her. Then what does she have that I don't? Like that's what your ego's wondering, right? That's why it hurts, right? But it has nothing to do with either of you. Like he has a physical type. That's the answer to the question of like why she looks just like you.
Yeah.
And why he's also hanging out with her is because, she's also available when you're not. He doesn't have to get too attached to either of you. Maybe it's a defense mechanism on his part. That's not an excuse for you to try to fix him by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Maybe she's more local than you, right? Who knows? She is probably wondering the same things that you are. You probably could be friends. You probably would like compare notes and be like, oh, this motherfucker, but this is a good experience for you, right? You're young. You met him when you were 19. Now you're 21. This is, you probably felt some feelings of love and excitement. This was a great learning opportunity for you. And probably, I hope what you learned is to like look for the signs of, qualifying, your fuck boys, your players, whatever you want to talk about. And the biggest thing is what was he this whole time?
Right.
What of anything, what was he? I mean, I'll just give you the answer. He was really inconsistent constantly, right?
That's it.
Over the course of the past 2 years, he was inconsistent. He might have been consistent for 3 days, but then he was inconsistent for 4,
But like, see, I feel like it's easy to shit on him and be like that. But honestly, for the longest time, I didn't have anything to complain about. He actually was consistent. And I was shocked. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Consistent over the course of these 2 years?
Okay, no, like
consistent, like a boyfriend you would
at the beginning,
Okay, at the beginning, but I'm talking about after
like months.
Okay, months. So, but for months, what's consistent in your mind?
Like every day, I would have some form of contact with him. Okay, basically.
Did you ever want more?
Yeah. Like we've talked about, like he's invited me to his date, but it hasn't worked out, and partly due to COVID.
What I'm asking is, in the time where you first started dating, where you're hearing him in some degree every day.
Yeah.
If you were honest with yourself, did you at times think to yourself, well, I kind of want to see where this is going. I'd like more.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, right? Like, but whether it was you wanted to be like the cool chick and you didn't want to pressure him or push him,
right?
You wanted more, and either you asked for more and he didn't give it, or you didn't ask for more. So like, what you did is you gave him too much validation for the consistency he gave you, but like not consistency of a relationship.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you like it. We hang out with it. We said you said you're okay with it. We meet someone. Relationships are supposed to grow, especially early on. They're supposed to mature. Right. They're supposed to evolve. You spend more time together. You get to know each other. They become more intimate. You count on each other for things. That's a relationship that turns into like a boyfriend or a girlfriend situation.
Yeah, but we kind of plateaued.
You plateaued, and then you decided to, just accept what he was offering at the risk of losing what you had with him, as opposed to saying, no, I want more from this. At the risk of losing him, I'm going to really put my foot down and see if he's willing to give it. So that's just what hopefully you can learn from this situation, is next time not to be afraid to say what you want out of this.
Right.
And, like I always say, trust your gut, and don't give a ton of validation for like minimal effort. Texting you every day is nice. Yeah, but like there's a lot more you would I'm guessing when you say like, what do I want in a boyfriend, or how I want someone to make me feel, like hearing from them every day is like bare minimum, like that's like showing up to work. Like you can show up to work every day and still be a shitty employee.
That's true. Okay. Well, I guess, going back, I definitely should have just done something earlier on, like set my ground.
I think a big thing you need to focus on is don't spend a lot of energy or any energy thinking about what you wish you would have done differently for that relationship.
Yeah.
It's just a small thing, but what you should think about is what will you do differently in the future with the next person? When these behaviors show up, how are you going to recognize it faster? And how are you going to challenge yourself to like state what you want and put your foot down, so that 3 or 4 months of love affairs don't turn into a 2-year kind of attachment of someone who's never really giving you enough to deserve 2 years of your life.
That's true. So now I'm like in this spot where I'm like super attached, and what do you think I should do?
You got to let go. You got to cut them off,
But like, just.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Well, you say attachment, like you're a little bit of addicted to this feeling. This itch he's scratching,
Right.
It's, toxic stimulation, Sour Patch Kid analogy, whatever you want to call it. You are, from time to time when you hear from him, he gives you a fix. And right now you spend a lot of energy trying to get that fix, being patient when you're not getting that fix. And so that's what it is. So it's more of an addiction than an attachment. I would call it that. And I think you just got to try to go cold turkey. You really got to, and you have to be okay with going through periods of loneliness, boredom, sadness, like you can't to get over this, you can't avoid some periods of being uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I feel like now, especially, I'm finding it so hard. Like I can't really hang out with people or.
You become a bit obsessed probably. And you're spending more time having a relationship with him in your head than you are in reality.
Yeah, and I think that's what hurts, is like I never had the chance to have an actual relationship, so I'm always thinking about like, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that.
Yeah, and it's not. But like you have to you got to give yourself some tough love. You got to be like, hey, well, I've wasted all this time having this relationship with this guy in my head. I want to have a person. He's just a guy, the exotic. He's from Europe and Spain. He plays soccer. Like plenty of probably hot soccer players in Toronto that will come and go. Like you're young. There's probably a lot of guys. Just give them a chance, but you just have to see this for what it is. It's just toxic stimulation. It's just a guy who's been able to, make you confused and question yourself. And your ego is really loud right now, and it's kind of telling you all these things. It's just like you're hot enough, you're good enough. What does she have that you don't? She looks just like you, and all those things. It's not about you. It's not about her. He's just in a very selfish period of his life right now, and he lacks the character just to be upfront about that, or the self-awareness, or whatever it is. But it's not your problem, but you're making it your problem.
All right. So I'm gonna, I guess, try my best and take your advice. You
can do it. I believe in you, but take some discipline. And but this is the answer. I can promise you that much.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate the insight.
All right. Take care.
Thank you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. How's it going?
Hi. Good. How about you?
Good. I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
I'm Katerina. I'm 26.
Hi, Katerina, 26. How can I help?
So I wrote in because I recently started dating someone who I think might be a psychopath. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Anyway,
wild times.
So to get started, I've known this guy for about a year over Instagram only. So we went back and forth a million times about hanging out. We live about 40 minutes away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he always used the excuse that he couldn't like see me because of work. And he works as a paramedic. So he's always like 3 or 4 days straight, that kind of thing. We finally made plans one night, randomly, like a few weeks ago. And I had posted something on my story. He replied to it and said, hey, you should come see me. Yada, yada, whatever. I have the weekend off. So I always have weekends off because I work like a 9-to-5 job. So I went to go see him. We had a great time, like amazing. We hung out. Yes, we had relations that first night, I'll say.
You had sex. Congratulations. That's awesome. There's no shame in it. You don't have to apologize.
Yeah, don't come for me, women. Okay. Anyways, I did it. Don't regret it at all. We had a great time, like I said. Woke up the next morning. We kind of talked about everything. That night, he was kind of, I don't know. We had a few glasses of wine, I'll say. He said he was obsessed with me, said he wanted to pursue a relationship with me and wanted me to be his right away, right? So I made a comment and I said, well, it's not ever going to work because you said that you can't do a long distance relationship and that you're a kinesthetic learner, however you say that word. He's basically physical touch is his love language, he told me, and that he couldn't do a long distance relationship a few months ago. So he said, well, that was before I met you. Like I know what I know what I want. And it's this, and I can deal with that.
Once he got to touch you, he was all in.
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
feathering your cap.
Yeah, there you go. So we continue our night, whatever. Like, so we woke up, we talked about it again. He said I freaked him out because I said we weren't going to work out, and he was still pretty upset about it. Now we woke up, like I said, and he asked me if I wanted to stay and have like lunch and breakfast. I was in his hometown, which is like I said, 40 minutes away from me. And he took me to lunch outside, obviously, because we couldn't go inside anywhere. And the whole time he was acting really weird. Like he kept looking around. His hometown's really small. And I finally asked him, I'm like, what's your problem, dude? Like you keep like, it looks like you're like so nervous right now. And he said, well, a lot of girls hate me in this town because I've like screwed them over and stuff. Okay. Red flag number 1. Yeah, okay. I know. I'm an idiot. Okay.
I mean, you didn't know this at the time, but all right, continue. Stop. Do me a favor.
Yes.
In life, stop judging yourself so quickly. And while doing the story, but continue.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I took that with a grain of salt. He took me to the store to go buy cologne because he said he wanted like to get my opinion on how he smelled, because he said he wanted to smell good for me. We went and got the cologne he liked, that I liked, I should say. And I went home that night. He told me to text him when I got home. I didn't. I fell asleep because I was really tired. He called me, whatever. We had a communication about how we would proceed with our relationship going forward, AKA I'm not great at texting. I never reply. I'm pretty bad at it. A lot of my family and friends hate me for it. Whatever. Just it is what it is. I can't change it. Told him that. He said he accepted that. We would call or FaceTime. So we see each other again. I'm trying to think of what else happened. I know there was way more stuff that has happened in between. I go see him again. Everything's great. He tells me that he told his parents about me and that he told them that I was his girlfriend. And I looked at him and I said, well, you didn't ever ask me to be your girlfriend. He said, oh, I thought like this is what we both wanted. And I said, well, I mean, let's have a conversation about it. Like when we're not drunk. So we had a conversation about it. He said, this is what he wanted, what I wanted. So we were going to continue with that. He wanted me to meet his parents. And I said, I was up to it, obviously in the future, not right away. He said that was fine. He said that he felt like I might've like freaked out a little bit because the way I was acting. I think I was just kind of shocked. So fast forward, we're kind of looking through our Instagram and we're looking at old pictures of each other. And it hit me that he like is so much bigger than the guy that I first remember talking to a year ago. And so I keep making comments. I'm like, hey, like you got really muscular. Like you're pretty big. Like, you know, and he's not saying anything. He just keeps saying, I'm taking supplements. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Whatever. Like I go home that night I spent the night again, had more relations. And the next time, or he asked me a question. He said, do you like skinny guys or do you like guys that are like kind of built up? And I said, honestly, I'm not a big fan of like the muscular look. I like thinner guys. That's just my preference. I could tell kind of maybe hurt his ego a little bit. So we got to know each other's relationships and all of that stuff. I go home. I feel like he was being really insecure when I got home. He was like blowing me up, like asking me why I wasn't replying right away, like just being kind of like obnoxious and insecure and crazy in my opinion. So I told him I needed some time just to leave me alone. Like I was like, you're being really weird. This is all so fast. Like I'll talk to you tomorrow. And he basically texted me like 5 times saying he was sorry for the way he was reacting. He's just being insecure because of what I said, yada, yada. I finally talked to him the next day and I say like, hey, it's not a big deal. I'm over it. Like, let's just move on. He's still pushing the subject and I'm not really giving it anything to him. He then texts me and says, you know what? Like, I feel so guilty. Like we just need to talk in person. I'm off tomorrow. What time do you get off? I said I got off at 4, whatever. He's supposed to come and drive to see me. And so Monday comes around. He doesn't come to see me. He calls me 20 minutes before he's supposed to be here at 5 o'clock and says, hey, sorry. I have to go pick up my dog from my parents' house. I just can't see you tonight. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, so I call him to talk to him about it because he texted me this and he didn't answer. So I'm like, what the heck? That's like, let's be adults here. And then he turns off his phone. I texted him a really long message about how like I didn't appreciate this and blah, blah, blah. Like the way he was just like being weird. He then texts me in the morning, says he's sorry. He freaked out. He needs alone time. Whatever. I don't know. Like that's his deal, I guess. And then we don't talk for a few days. He then breaks up with me over text and says, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. I thought I could handle it. I can't. I'm getting rid of my dog because he can't have it in his apartment. And this is a pretty big stage in my life. And I need to figure some things out before I can commit to you fully. And like, this was just a lot. I haven't been in a relationship in 2 years. And I just, I went in too fast, too soon. So I text him. I'm like, whatever, dude, like, that's fine. Like, do your thing. I want my stuff that I left at your house. I'll give you your stuff that I have. And then he just doesn't talk to me for like 3 days. I go to Mammoth with my friends. And this was like a couple days ago. He sees I was at Mammoth snowboarding. And he unfollows me on Instagram. I message him and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you're being so immature about this. He said he felt stupid for like kind of not talking to me in the way he's been handling.
Why did you message him?
Because I was annoyed.
Okay, but you were okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I was annoyed because this whole time in my head, I'm thinking it's another girl. Like the whole time I'm like, it has to be another girl. He probably met someone else. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, this confirms it. Like he's really just gonna like just go off and never talk to me again. Really, I want my stuff from his house. That's what I really wanted. I'm not joking. And
I don't believe that. But anyways, go ahead.
Oh, that's what my friends say. So I messaged him that and he says he's sorry. He feels stupid. He made a mistake and he couldn't see me anymore on Instagram, like living my life and whatever.
So where are we now? I feel like I have enough about the situation. Yeah, where are we now?
Okay, right now we're communicating. I'm supposed to see him this weekend to talk.
Why are you communicating? I'm sorry. You're communicating and you're supposed to see him.
Yes.
And then what is your question?
Okay. Oh, I didn't mention he's on steroids.
You know this for a fact.
He told me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he told me that he felt really insecure when he told me that he was on steroids and he didn't want to tell me in the beginning.
What kind of like he's not on like
supplements.
But he's like shooting up, like he's injecting him. Like I don't know, or I don't know. I guess I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I tried to do some research on that. Pretty sure he's injecting him, and he's gotten like really big, really, really fast, like super. And he told me he was on whatever his second time doing it, and he told me he wasn't gonna do it again after this, but I'm not sure. Anyways, so my question is, I don't know if he's just having like these manic episodes where like steroids are like supposed to.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the thing. I guess I should talk to maybe a medical professional.
No, it's not. What do you want?
I think okay, so let me tell you this. I've never been dumped before, ever.
Okay,
so
good for you to admit. Okay.
It's my ego. Yeah? I know my ego's hurt.
Okay, well, good for you also to recognize that. So knowing that, what do you want?
Honestly?
Sure. I mean, this is
to see him again and like ruin his life. No, I'm just
okay,
kidding. Kinda.
Well, good for you to admit that, right? So then what do you think you should do?
Well, I think I should go there and get my stuff for sure.
What stuff?
Okay, so I'm into cooking. I have like nice pots and pans and all that. That's all at his house right now because I cooked for him.
How much do you think that's worth?
Right. Okay. So to me, I don't know, $200.
$200. Okay. Well, that's not nothing, but also like you could definitely replace it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you spent $200 on far more trivial things other than like like good mental health and a healthy mindset and emotional stability and which we often don't like invest in enough, right? So you can attribute it to like an investment in good mental health and good decision making and checking your ego, only for the low price of $200.
Okay.
I mean, listen, you know the answer. You don't need me to point out, and all the people listening right now, listening to you tell the story, are just like, what the fuck? This guy's a mess, right? Like, let alone the steroids, which is like just a major red flag. And you're right. Like, who knows how it's affecting his, mental stability, but there's a good chance it could have some effect on it. And even if it's not actually he clearly has emotional issues and he's gaslighting you a little bit and he's just confusing and a mess. And I mean, he's already admitted to you that he's like burned other bridges and just he's a very insecure guy. How hot is he?
I think he's really attractive.
Okay, yeah. So like he's super hot. So like you're a little blinded by that, right? But he's also just wildly insecure, and he's deals with his insecurity by gaslighting you and like making you question yourself and your intelligence and how you do things. And that way, that's his way of making himself feel better by making you feel worse. Right. So this is a guy you're dating. This is what he does. Right. It's pretty common. Don't feel bad about yourself, but like, and then your ego, like this whole Instagram thing, like thank God he unfollowed you. That was him moving on and letting you move on, and good for you for going to Mammoth. But then you decided to do the very thing that he's guilty of and like give into your ego and in your insecurities and then try to make him feel bad for doing something, quite frankly, was maybe the healthiest thing he's done, whether it was his intentions. His intentions were to get a reaction, but like, it's kind of like when a baby throws a temper tantrum, the best thing to do is not to like notice the baby throwing a temper tantrum. You just ignore it because the baby's doing it for attention, and don't give him the thing it's, thinks it wants. And then, if you don't give a baby attention when it's throwing a temper tantrum, they'll stop doing it next time because they know it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
So
well, okay, so he did tell me that he was mentally broken and that he did a lot of self-reflection and that
this guy's not getting fixed overnight. This might require years of therapy, none of which are going to happen while you're in his life.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's just a manipulation tactic to hook you in, only for him to push you away once he lets you back in. And the only way this guy can feel good right now is when he makes other people feel bad or confused. And that's a big problem for him. And it's pretty common. Like maybe people with like narcissistic personalities. I don't know if he's narcissistic or not, but he has some issues, right? And then guys, like he's just not going to work them out while you're in his life, right? He's only going to do enough to make you want to come back in, and you recognize that you have an ego too, so you have just two massive egos trying to validate and feed each other's egos, and you're just ignoring everything else.
You're right.
You need to recognize your situation in this, say goodbye to him, let it go. I don't think there's nothing. I don't know. I don't. My guess is you're not going to listen to me, but like nothing nothing healthy is going to come from this like meetup that you suggest that you're supposed to have with him. Even happens, he probably will cancel you again or do something. And if it does happen, and even if there's like a temporary like rekindling or understanding between the two of you, rest assured it will blow up in a week or two's time or something. And so and you don't want your pots and pans back. You don't give a shit. You just want an excuse to tell yourself that you don't want to just make him feel like crap or fight it out or just have him validate your ego. And I think it would be a really good step for you if you can just recognize that and let him have his pots and pans, like just block him, ignore him, not let him have access to you. When he says, oh, and you have your pots and pans, I want to bring them over. You're like, nah, I'm good. Congratulations. That's a parting gift for me. And go treat yourself to some new pots and pans.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. And I know you didn't want to hear that, but that's what you need to hear. And that's probably what you should do. And I hope that you take my advice, because it's definitely the right one.
Yeah, I think I was just telling myself I wanted closure, but maybe I don't need it.
You may need closure, but it's not going to come from him.
Yeah. I mean,
closure, you need say goodbye to your pots and pans. Go buy some new ones. I don't know what it costs to go snowboarding at Mammoth, but it's probably close to $200 or something along those lines. So you sacrifice one trip to Mammoth for some good mental health.
Yes.
Find someone else. There's other hot guys out there that are messes, that are less mess of a him, that aren't abusing illegal drugs, that have effect on his health. I mean, this guy, I mean, and he has to figure himself out, and I hope he does. But he needs a kick in the pants, and the only thing that might help him, and it's not your problem, is to cut him off. But most likely, you'll just be another girl who realizes it's about him. I mean, like
he's actually psycho.
You're not different. You're not special enough to change him and fix him and be the one girl that figured him out, that he changed all his problems for. You're going about trying to feel special in a very toxic way.
Yep, you're right. No, yep, that's what I needed to hear, Nick. Thank you.
All right. Well, stop doing it. Take my advice and don't meet up with him. I think you should unfollow him and block him, and not to get a reaction, but to just completely remove yourself from his life and stop giving him any access to you to get those claws in and fuck with you and make you feel bad about your choices.
Yeah.
And then whenever you feel your ego screaming and saying, I need attention, you just tell it to shut up.
Yeah. No, it is definitely. I've been going back and forth with this for a while. So, okay, I should block him. That's going to cause a reaction, but it's fine. I can handle it.
All right. You can do this. I believe in you.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Right. I really appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Right, bye.
Well, what a great episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope we helped save your life. I'm talking to other people who called in. I appreciate you guys calling in. And for those of you listening, hopefully you found this beneficial, if nothing else, entertaining. We always appreciate you listening. Don't forget to send your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. And if there's nothing else, we will see you tomorrow.